Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 252 at scavengerlife.com.
Wow, Ryan, you sound really good. You sound happy.
That's very deceptive sounding then.
Yes, Ryan, she caught a cold last night, so we just got over all these sicknesses. So.
Man, we just had the flu like a month ago, and all of a sudden last night I'm like, my throat is sore. I feel bad. Like, oh God.
You seem very upset about it.
I started crying.
Why? Why were you crying?
I was crying because I'm just like, it takes such a dent out of like doing things, you know, and we have a pretty busy life.
Yeah, we're active people, so it's no fun being on our butt. So today is going to be a bit of a shorter version of what we normally do, but we'll get through it just to
give a little update.
And really, honestly, a lot of these times these podcasts are for ourselves. We're here to update ourselves on what we're doing.
What did we do last week?
Okay, Ryan, how do you think our week went?
I thought our week was very good. We did a lot of scavenging.
Yep.
Like, didn't we do a ton of scavenging? I feel like
I said, springtime starts coming and you just can't help it, you know?
Yeah, it's like you're kind of... I know how you love the winter where we're kind of holed up in the house and you get a lot of work done that way. But when it's a beautiful day and you're like, let's drive to the next town over.
We spent the whole day. One day we drove, an hour away to another town. We got a carload of stuff. I actually bought something on one of those online auctions, and we had to drive. It's an hour and a half away. It sucks because
you bought one thing.
Well, I bid on a whole bunch of things, and then I only ended up winning one thing.
It was a big thing, though.
It was cool. It was like this vintage.
It's a pot rack.
Right? I'm thinking
it's
maybe
huge.
For the other house, but doesn't look like it's going to be. But anyway, so it's kind of a dumb to drive there, and it's so crazy. It's in suburban DC, like Northern Virginia.
It's like a suburban desert, like an industrial desert.
It's even in the part of town where they haven't really developed. There isn't really a community. It's just like these developments that have popped up, and this company just rented one of these little offices.
Office space, yeah.
But it just reminds me, if anyone lives in places like that, like, there's so much better places to live than that.
I feel like every time we go into those parts of, like, Northern Virginia, like, a lot of times people that live there, I mean, they just work all the time. It's not like they're hanging out in their, like, little condo. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Eating at Ruby Tuesdays. But people have to do what they have to do.
Yeah.
But there is another world out there if you choose to.
Buying greasy pot rack.
Find it. Yeah, I thought eBay did very well for us. I don't know if it's because people are getting their it's money, but it's good. I mean, I will say, some people are saying it was slow for them, and I get that. eBay isn't the same for everyone, but the slow times truly are coming, and that's the summertime. And that's true for everybody.
Every retailer.
I mean, that's true for people on Amazon, on eBay, brick and mortar stores. Yep. It just gets slow in the summertime.
Yep.
We'll still have good weeks.
Right.
But our profit definitely dips.
Yeah.
For us, even with a slow month, our bills are low enough to where we always still make enough. But I will say this, don't let this be a surprise.
Yeah.
It's going to be very boring if on the blog people start freaking out about how slow it is. It happens every single year.
Every summer.
So it's coming.
The great thing about summer, though, is when sales are slow, you have more time to list.
And it's true. I mean, what we try and do is, we focus on a listing, even if things aren't, flying out the door.
Right.
And we want to try and be by September. We want our store just bursting with stuff so it sells. And
especially things like clothing that we put off and put off and put off.
Right.
And clothing is great for the fall and the winter. So.
Like in the hottest part of summertime is when you want to start thinking about putting up your heaviest coats. And
you know what's funny? People buy that stuff in the summer sometimes. I remember there was a heat wave. It was so hot outside, and I sold like 3 sweaters.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Right. But I mean, the point is to not think about what is happening at this it's moment, but what's going to be happening. So right now, things are pretty good right now in our store, but the slow days are coming, so we're kind of getting prepared for that.
Yes, mentally and in the store.
All right, Ryan.
Yes.
We're trying to do this thing where we're trying to do just one day of Amazon FBA.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Did I
for
do
you?
one day?
Yep.
Yeah, it was one day.
Yep.
First of all, I will say the good thing was we heard from someone on the blog that they tried to send in books that were had to be removed last time, the whole big controversy. So I was like, I had a pile of 25 books that they were like, you can't send these in. So I tried to send them in, and they let me send them in.
And that's just what a person had told us on
so
the
I was
blog,
like, yay. So I got this big box together of books. And then we had another pile of I don't know what to call it, general merchandise of stuff we had piled up, and stuff got to the warehouse already, and stuff's already starting to sell. Well,
see, what we learned is that if you send in just the books, then you get an even cheaper rate.
It's a media rate.
So, but then if we mix those two, electronics and hard goods, if those are mixed with books, then you can't take advantage of
the lower rate.
Right. So
that's what it seemed like. So I tried to just do books on their own.
And so that's what we're trying to do. I mean, our Amazon FBA experiment really is informed by a lot of people who are hearing this, who have given us advice over the past couple of years. And some of the interviews we've done with some people who sell an FBA, and they say things like, just make a pile, like a plastic bin, just put stuff in there as it's found, and then just every week, just do one day.
Do a shipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so different than eBay, because for eBay, I feel like the profit is so high. But, with Amazon, it's just this whole other world.
Well, I mean, we have had a much better week. I think we've had our best week on Amazon.
Yeah.
Where we were selling things instead of $10, $12. We've been selling things for $40, $50,
$150.
We sold one thing for $300. A sink piece.
It was like a shower faucet thingy.
So I mean, it's just like anything. It's a matter of scavenging. So it's upping our scavenger game. So instead of focusing on things that will sell for cheap on Amazon, we're trying to find things that sell for higher. It's just harder.
It's hard, yeah.
Because finding new in the box items that will sell on Amazon for cheap is difficult.
Well, and I mean, you can send used stuff in, but really the best stuff to send to Amazon is new in the box.
And when you go to a thrift store, if something's new in the box, it just people automatically price it higher. Whereas that's why we love eBay, because something looks like junk. The thrift store thinks it's junk, and
but we know it's not junk.
We get it for cheap. So
exactly.
That's the challenge. But you know what? We like challenges, and we like puzzles.
And it's an experiment, too. I mean, that's part of it, is that we're it's not like the perfect, we figured out the best maximization of profit.
Well, plus, and everything I'm saying here is stuff that people have told us. That some stuff sells better on Amazon than it does on eBay. I was getting something from our eBay storage that we had to ship, and I noticed this air pump. It's like a Coleman air pump that you pump up an air
mattress, right?
It's mattress Swiss, and it had been on eBay for over a year. I pulled it out as Ryan sent it into Amazon, and it sold as soon as it hit the warehouse.
It's so funny. I just think people shop in different places. You know what I mean? They only shop on Amazon for things.
And I will just make an announcement that Ryan is a plushie.
Okay, so
Ryan is a plushie. You are a plushie.
Let me just tell you this. Jay also found a huge plush animal, and I laughed out loud when he found it.
We have always made fun of people that sell plushies. Animals.
Plushies. Now you call them plushies.
Not because it's a bad thing.
No, we never made fun of them.
It's just so...
Don't say that. We didn't make fun of them. We were just you know what? And check it out. This is exactly how I felt in the beginning when we only sold clothes. I swore that I would never sell glassware or porcelain or china. Now I'm staring at a bookshelf full of porcelain and glassware because it sells.
So we will always eat our words. So, we find that when we go to... You're a plushie. So we find that when we go to thrift stores, there will often be like a bin
of
plush toys. Now, I don't know one plush toy from the other, so we would love to hear in the comments what brands to go after.
I know a little bit because Gund is a popular one, and Gons, like those are in Disney.
Right.
And Jay found this huge shark.
Yep.
It was like this microfiber shark, and he walks towards me in the thrift store. I'm just like, but it was IKEA.
And I said, you think Grandma would like this?
Yeah,
that's our code word
Grandma
for
would like this. And I was like, if it's IKEA, absolutely.
Well, our code word is, will Grandma like this, is for eBay. And then will Grandpa like this is for Amazon. So I said, yeah, would Grandpa like this? And so I saw the tag of IKEA.
Yeah,
like,
IKEA always sells.
And I was like, how much could this actually sell for? You know what? They sell for like $40.
Yeah, $50. And it was clean. The thing about plush, too, that I noticed is like, if it's a good brand and it's clean and not worn out.
Yeah.
I've been selling plush on Amazon, and I can't believe it. I'm like, who am I? I'm having an existential crisis.
Yeah, well, it's all good. Okay, so our numbers real quick. I'm going to go over them. I don't know if anyone cares about our numbers, but I'll just do it for ourselves.
I can't believe you're saying that. The numbers, look, I get bored by the numbers, but I think they're the most important thing, as boring as I think they are.
It's like the vitamins. Like, everything else is like the dessert. These are the vitamins that you got to take, the vegetables. Yeah. Okay, so in our main eBay store, we sold about $1,500 worth of stuff. So it's not bad, over $200 a day. I'm always happy with $200 a day. Yeah. And we sold 25 things. So in our second smaller eBay store, we made about $400. We sold 11 items. So, total between those two, we made about $1,800. $1,900 in between the two stores. So that's good. It's for us. Anytime we can make about $2,000 a week. And then in Amazon, like I said, our total gross profit was almost $800. We sold 21 items.
Wow, we did well.
But then again, as everyone knows, it's just the fees because they're doing the shipping for you. They're doing all this work. Yeah. So it is what it is. We did send in a bunch of boxes, and then the cost of that comes off the profit. So if we make half of that, we're probably doing good, So let's talk about some things as we sold. Go for it. Right?
Okay, so the one most important thing we need to talk about is the tiki pole. Okay, it is a 7-foot tall, hand-carved solid wood tiki pole. It weighed 30 pounds. It was 85 inches. It was a local pickup, obviously, and someone in Arizona bought it, and she said, I'm going to have UPS pick this up, pack it, and ship it. I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's possible. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, when people say things like that, we assume they've had experience. So we're like, okay, go for it.
Then clearly that was not the case because she was like, oh, they won't pick it up. So we said, look, we had to go to the nearest town over, the biggest town over, to get to your auction item to pick up. So I said, we can pick it up, bring it to the UPS store, have them pack it, but it has to be tomorrow.
And we called the store and asked how much it would cost, and they gave us
an estimate.
And then we told her it would be more just to cover ourselves.
Yeah, and I refunded her the difference the next day. But basically, to ship a 7-foot-long tiki pole from here, Virginia, to Arizona, plus including the packing, was $100. It was about $30 to pack it, and about $75 to send it.
And she was fine.
She was fine with it. And that was kind of amazing. We were like, oh, that's cool.
Yep.
So that was an adventure.
So that was good. Again, I bought it for $5. It was like at an auction. No one wanted it. So I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see.
And we sold it for $175.
Yep.
So that's a nice sale.
Yep.
That I didn't want to let go.
Okay, and we sold a bunch of other stuff, but
you know what? You'll see it on the video.
Yep, Ryan will put it in the video. I did want to mention a couple of news things. I noticed on eBay people have been talking about this. If you're signed up for the new seller hub on eBay, it's like it's dashboard.
Right.
They have a tab called it's performance tab, and it's almost like they're doing what we have always talked about. It's like Google and a analytics kind of for
that's cool. I haven't looked
eBay.
at it yet.
But it's like kindergarten.
It's super basic.
But it's better than what it was, where it was like the Omniture, where it had to like open up a whole other screen. It's right there. It's not super dynamic, but it does give you stats. And so I'm going to put a link on the blog on that, because one of the things is it tells you where people have come from.
Nice.
Traffic, and like what items were seen the most, and did it happen? Did someone buy it and stuff like that? So it's interesting.
There's another piece of news that I wanted to say. Last week I had written to Griff and been like, why is calculated shipping not on invoices anymore? And he was like, it's a bug, and, you know, there's a ticket open for it. Obviously, it's a huge bug. And it got fixed. I mean, I've been sending invoices with the calculated shipping with no problem.
There you go.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So it did get fixed.
So problems happen, problems get solved. Things we learned in the comments on the blog.
Oh, yeah. So we got an email from Larry, and he asked us how you can give your shipping discount and pass it on to your customer if that's something you want to do. And there is a way to do it, and we'll link to it. There's a help page that walks you through how to do it. Basically, like when you get like that super good, you know, commercial base rate discount on eBay, if you want that price to show up on your listings, you can do that. You can choose to do that.
So, you know, the argument would be, you know, I think a lot of us, we get it's discount.
Right.
Because we're eBay people.
Right.
And it's like our benefit.
Right.
And so the people pay the normal postage rate as they would at the post office, and then we get it's discount, and a lot of us keep that because that helps pay for shipping
the fees
and our time and all that stuff. Plus, eBay takes
9% off your shipping.
Off the So it kind of balances out. But if you want to compete more, like Ryan said, by doing this, it will automatically make your shipping seem cheaper. So maybe people might buy more
if
from
that's
you.
What you want to do.
But it's just a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so our coming week is we have about 2.5 more weeks before we're flying to the West Coast, and we're going to be gone for a month. A big long chunk of time.
Yep.
So we're kind of in crunch time where, you know, I'm sure maybe you do too. I have like a to-do. Yeah,
absolutely
checklist of all the stuff I want to get done, and as time gets smaller, my check list actually gets bigger because I keep adding more stuff. But as time gets closer, it's like this. I've got to start figuring out what do we really want to do, because there's still some piles in our house that I want to take care of, because we're going to have someone take over our house. Yes, and we don't want it to be like a hoarder house. Yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing. I have shoes to take pictures of.
We're working on those.
And then I have like some eBay stuff that we've been scavenging. I've been doing a good job keeping up. It's with all the stuff we're bringing in the house. So I'm going to do all that too.
No, you've been really good. That's principally why I started crying this morning. Because I was just like, oh my God, I have like such a long list of stuff I want to do before we go. And
so Ryan needs to get better, number one.
That's true. I have, so my computer died, so I have to use the laptop, so I have to be, like, super vigilant about, like, backing stuff up, and, like, I have a bunch of photos I have to edit and back up, and so my computer world is a little bit, you know, to the side, so it makes things difficult, but, so I need to just...
Well, plus we got all this stuff for Amazon.
Yes, we got a
found
bunch
a
of
store
stuff
that we're selling a lot of stuff at a discount.
So I need to send that stuff in.
Yep.
And I would really like to just be listing, you know. Yep. But we also have several days at the farmhouse that people aren't there, and we have some projects we want to do over there. So that stuff will probably happen if I pop a couple day quills.
Yeah. Plenty to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is unfortunately going to be a very short episode just because we don't want to make this too long to edit.
Yes.
And we have to just be aware of Ryan's illness. So we will save all the voicemails that came in for it's this week. We'll do them. It's next week. We'll have an extra long episode.
Yeah.
And that's it. So thanks, everyone, for coming. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com where we talk about where we talk to each other after the podcast, and you can join the conversation over there.
You can call and leave a question or a comment on something you heard. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
And so it's Ryan should be able to post the video on Wednesday for the What Sells video.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you can subscribe to us, as always, through iTunes or YouTube. And if you want to hear more, because this is a short one, you can hear our other podcast, shampooandbooze.com. We recorded that yesterday. That was an extra long one because we were both feeling good and had a lot to talk about.
That was before I got sick.
So not about eBay, but will be about our Airbnb business. But it's all about scavenging. So that's it. Okay, it's definitely ending.
In 3, 2, 1.
Bye.